Online lecture video series on electromagnetic theory by Deepak. In the previous module, we have seen the introduction to electrostatics, and we have also discussed a physical vector phenomenon called electric field intensity, and we have determined the electric field intensity because of a line charge. In the current module, we would like to determine the electric field intensity due to an uniformly distributed sheet of charge with a surface density of rho s. The meaning of surface density is charge per unit area. And the area of the sheet in consideration is infinite square units. Hence the name infinite sheet of charge. So we try to determine the electric field intensity because of this. So to construct the problem, we know only the electric field intensity because of a point source. That is, electric field intensity E bar equals to the charge by 4 pi epsilon naught r square ARK. This is the only expression of electric field intensity we have. And this is defined for a point source. But the problem in question is a sheet, a two-dimensional entity. So how to apply this formula to this sheet of charge? In order to understand that, you might remember that while we discussed line charge, then to convert this line charge into point source, what we did is we considered infinitesimal small length possible, each of length dl. And I told you that because that the length of this point, this source in consideration is negligible in compared to the distance between the test point and the source, then this can be considered as no dimensional. Hence, point. Thereby, we can apply the concept of electric field intensity to it. Same thing if we do here, instead of this entire sheet, we consider an infinitesimal area ds. Now, this area, the dimensions of this area is again negligible on comparing to the physical distance between the test point anywhere. Hence, this can also be considered as a point source. Now, the charge inside this surface can be obtained using the definition of surface charge density. Because the surface charge density is defined as the charge per unit area per area of ds square units, the charge inside it would be rho s ds. If I want to determine the total charge q, then I will be using integral rho s ds. Remember that this integration is double integration. But my problem is not to determine q. My problem is to determine electric field intensity. And the electric field intensity can also be written as surface integral of dE, where this dE is the electric field intensity due to dq. So what I'm trying to do is I had a surface in that I have considered only one small area such that these dimensions are negligible compared to any test distance. Now, because its dimensions are negligible, I have considered this to be a point. Now, what I am saying is, I can have infinite of such points over here. And the electric field intensity because of this point is dE, and the total electric field intensity can also be written as the superposition theorem by adding the individual electric field intensity because of different points. In that, because this is a continuous distribution, instead of summation we will be using integration, and the integrals is not just a single integral, it is a surface integral, and we integrate over these two dimensions, whatever they might be. We'll consider those dimensions and coordinates in the next, but let us just come to a basic fundamental expression of the electric field intensity, right? Thereby we will be modifying that according to our problem in hand, but let us now just see for a generalized two-dimensional surface charge. Yeah, this is the expression for electric field intensity we know. I have just seen earlier. It is the dq is the charge here in this area of ds. The dq can also be written as rho s ds, because rho s is the charge per unit area. Remember that this is a surface integration. This is not just single integration. It has two integrals and it has two limits, right? Lower limit 1, upper limit 1, lower limit 2, upper limit 2. Because to form an area, you will be needing variations in at least two dimensions. We have seen that earlier. Now, again, this AR cap is a unit vector that can also be written as R bar by mod R bar, where mod R bar equals to R. So I can rewrite this as integral of rho s ds by 4 pi epsilon r cube. So guys, this is a universal expression for electric field intensity because of a surface charge. Which is having uniform charge density, right? And I understand that we have not done anything to the limits over here. We have not applied any limits. The limits can be applied based on the dimensions of the problem. In our problem, the dimensions are from minus infinite to infinite or x and y. If we consider a Cartesian coordinate system, whether we will be considering Cartesian coordinate system or would be considering any other, let us see next, right? Let us see what is the choice of coordinate system we will be using. Let me tell you one thing, that I would be solving this problem in cylindrical coordinate system. But the same thing can be done in Cartesian coordinate system. There is nobody to say that you can't apply Cartesian coordinate system to solve this problem. You can apply Cartesian coordinate system. There is no wrong in that. But I will be using cylindrical coordinate system. My question to you is, why? Why am I using cylindrical coordinate system over Cartesian coordinate system? That is to be submitted in your next assignment. So before we solve the problem in our hand, let us discuss symmetry in cylindrical coordinate system. In cylindrical coordinate system, imagine a circle, right, with its axis and z axis, right? The axis of the circle to be z axis. Understand the axis of the circle, that is perpendicular drawn to the circle from the center, right? The axis of the rotation is considered to be z axis. So again, don't get confused over the cylindrical coordinate system and z axis. This can also be called as h axis, but just for my ease or whatever you may say, that I have used it z axis. Now, so this plane is in rho phi plane, or z equals to 0 plane. The circle is in z equals to 0 plane. Imagine that. Fine. Consider two diametrically opposite points. The meaning of diametrically opposite points is, for example, yeah, these 2 points, right? I can draw a diameter, right? The line joining these 2 points should pass through the center. Then this is the diameter, so consider two diametrically opposite points. Now, the coordinates of these points would be rho comma phi comma 0, and this would be rho comma pi plus 180 comma 0. Let us see here. Here, even if it is not in h equals 0 plane, my analysis would still be same. See, rho comma phi comma h is 1 point, rho comma pi plus 180 comma h is another point. If that is the points we consider, then there exists a relation between aero cap. So let me use this opportunity to remind you about aero cap. Aero cap can be considered as the perpendicular drawn to the point, the direction of the perpendicular drawn to the point from z axis, right? So if this is the z axis, I draw a perpendicular from z axis, I will be reaching here. Similarly, if I draw a perpendicular, I will be reaching here. So this is aero 1 cap and this is aero 2 cap for point 1 and point. Aero 1 cap and aero 2 cap. It is very clear that the direction of each of them is diametrically opposite. That is, I can also say aero 2 cap is in the direction opposite to aero 1 cap. It is very evident, right? I don't think it needed much further explanation about this. So let us move on. So this is a symmetry in Cartesian coordinates, cylindrical coordinate system. Pardon me. That if there are 2 points separated by 180 degrees, if there are 2 points separated by 180 degrees, then their unit vectors would be having. You can even verify this using the relationship between the unit vectors, where aero cap equals to cos phi ax cap plus sin phi ay cap. If there is 180 degrees phase shift, then it would automatically become aero 2 would be minus cos phi ax cap minus sin phi ay cap. This is nothing but minus of aero 1 cap. So even from mathematics you can understand this, or graphically also we can understand this. So this is the symmetry of 2 points to diametrically opposite points in cylindrical coordinate system. Right? Now let us come to the point in our question in our hand. Right? This is the sheet I have. The sheet is formed by variations in rho and phi. The rho has been varied from 0 to infinite, and phi has varied from 0 to 360 degrees. Right? Similarly, if we assume that it is in an xy plane, then limits of x are from minus infinity to infinity, and y are from minus infinity to infinity. Right? Now, the normal to this sheet is AH cap, because we have assumed this to be along h equals to constant plane, because this is in h equals to constant plane. So the normal to that would be AH cap, right? And the differential area, if you remember the differential area, ds is rho d rho d phi. If you are to remember this, I would suggest you to please go and visit the lecture module of this particular concept where we discussed differential lengths, surface and volumes in various coordinates. Now this is AH cap. This is the point on z-axis. So this is one point, right? I am just considering I am determining the electric field intensity because of the sheet on the z-axis, right? That is what I am doing for now, right? Now to reach from here to here, I will be reaching here and here. This is perpendicular drawn from point to the z-axis. So this is just opposite to the perpendicular drawn from z-axis to the point, right? And this again, the direction here is going along the increase of h. So this direction is AH cap. So I can write the vector joining the point to this as minus rho a rho 1 cap plus h AH cap, right? Because the magnitude which I am covering is rho. I can also write it as rho 1, right? Just to follow the specification, this is minus rho 1 a rho 1 cap plus h AH cap, right? Because we have assumed this point to be 0, 0, h, right? H or z, same thing, as you know. Now, the electric field intensity because of the differential charge would be, as we have seen, q by, this is q by 4 pi epsilon r square, in fact r cube, because r equals to root over rho square plus h square. Now r cube would be root over of rho square plus h square whole cube. I can write this to be equals to rho square plus h square to the power of 3 by 2. And r bar is minus rho 1 a rho 1 cap plus h AH cap. Okay guys, now consider another point, but at this time the point is considered diametrically opposite to the first point. Now again, to reach this point, we will have to take another different path from this and this. So this I can write it as to be equals to, because see, understand that the value of rho did not change in both the cases. This is because it is diametrically opposite, because they are diametrically opposite, they lie on the same circle, right? They lie on the same circle. Only difference would be the angular displacement. The angular displacement here is 180 degrees more than this. Now I can write this to be equals to minus rho a rho 2 cap plus h AH cap, right? This is 100% correct. But this a rho 2 cap is along minus a rho 2 cap is along the same direction of a rho 1 cap, which we have seen already. So I also can like this vector to be rho 1 times a rho 1 cap plus h AH cap. Understand that minus a rho 2 cap has been substituted as a rho 1 cap. Again, the electric field intensity because of this would be q by 4 pi epsilon r bar by mod r bar cube, right? Again, mod r bar is rho square plus h square to the power of 1 by 2 whole cube. Again, rho square plus h square to the power of 3 by 2. Now, I would like to consider what is the net electric field intensity because of these two charges. So, dE1 plus dE2, if I add them, I would be adding these two. Now, understand that this is common. The entire denominator is common because the distance did not change. The distance is same. If there is change in anything, it is the expression of R bar. In that, these two are along the opposite direction, so they cancel out. So it will be getting, this will be 2AH and this 2H and 4 would cancel to give you rho s ds by 2 pi epsilon rho square plus h square to the power of 3 by 2 integral of, h ah. Now, see, this is just the differential electric field intensity. Differential electric field intensity because of 2 points. So, what we have to understand is that this is the electric field intensity only because of 2 points. And we can conclude that the net electric field intensity because of two diametrically opposite points acts along the normal to the surface or z-axis, right? On z-axis, the net electric field intensity because of two diametrically opposite points acts along the normal to the surface. Let us see what are some key observations we can make about the construction of our problem. Please remember that we are trying to determine the electric field intensity because of an infinite sheet of charge. Okay. Now, for an infinite sheet of charge, you cannot draw a point which do not have its reflection. Let me explain you how. An infinite sheet of charge is formed by varying rho from 0 to infinite and pi from 0 to 2 pi. You consider any random value of rho. For example, say rho equals to 5. Rho equals to 5 is a circle, right? Rho equals to 5 is a circle. On this circle, excuse me for my drawing skills, I try to draw a better circle here. Thank God this is much better, right? So this is rho equals to 5 circle. Now for this circle, if you assume that this is the reference axis, so this is 0 and from 0, I go counterclockwise like this and like this and like this. Here I will be reaching 5, right? Now for all these points along the range of 0 to pi, you have another set of points from pi to 2 pi which act as their diametrically opposite points. For example, if you draw here at pi by 2, if you come here at pi by 2, diametrically opposite point would be 3 pi by 2, right? Or for example, if you are here at pi by 4, you would be having a point here at 5 pi by 4. And so not just these values, any value you can express from 0 to pi, you would be having the reflections at pi to 2 pi. Right? Now, please go back to the previous conclusion. We have concluded that if you have a z-axis and two diametrically opposite points, The net electric field intensity at a point on z-axis, because of these two diametrically opposite points, would be acting only along the normal. That is only along the z-axis. Now what I am telling you is, you draw a circle. Because of this circle, the net electric field intensity would be along only z-axis. Now, in addition to that, what I am telling you is, not when just rho equals to 5. For all the values of rho, all possible values of rho, whatever you may assume, ranging from 0 plus to infinite, for all these points, the electric field intensity at a point on z-axis would always be acting upon the direction of z-axis only. So that is the first observation I can make about our problem. Now the second observation I make is, this is an interesting observation, that any normal drawn to the sheet can be considered as z-axis. Okay, to discuss that, let us not discuss this in cylindrical coordinate system. Instead, let us discuss in Cartesian coordinate system. Imagine that we are in a Cartesian coordinate system, right? Imagine that this is entire thing is in Cartesian coordinate plane. That is z equals to constant plane. Okay, and you can draw normals everywhere, right? These are all normals. Okay, assume that the limits are from -5 to +5. Okay, everywhere. So this is -5 comma -5, and this is 5 comma 5. This is 5 comma -5. Let me write it here. This is 5 comma -5, and this is -5 comma 5. I think you can understand this, because this point is in Q1, this is in Q2, this is in Q3, and this is in Q4. Now these are all the different normals. Anywhere you can draw a perpendicular to all the vectors. That these any vector which is coming out of this, any vector which is coming out of your screen can be the normal to this. But can any of them be your z-axis? Not possible. Why? Because now the z-axis must pass through origin, right? So if I draw an x-axis and if I draw a y-axis, the normal which is drawn and is passing through the origin will only be the z-axis. I hope that you know that the circle and this dot represents a vector coming out of screen, right? And a circle inside this, a cross or into sign, is a vector going into screen, right? I have assumed that you know this, and then I have drawn a vector which is coming out of the screen from here, and I have told you that this is the z-axis. These are all normal, but only there can be one z-axis, because the z-axis should be at the center of the xy reference plane, right? But if it is an infinite plane, okay, if it is an infinite plane, you draw any normal. Okay, you draw a normal here, right? You have drawn a normal here. Even for this normal, you can have the value of rho ranging from 0 to infinite and the value of phi ranging from 0 to 2 pi. Let me name it as rho dash 1. The meaning of rho dash 1 is the perpendicular distance from this particular normal. I can still have a plane whose limits are from 0 to infinity. So let us look at here. Let us look at here. Assume that this point is to be 1 comma 1. Okay, assume that this point is to be 1 comma 1. Now this is what I call as, this is shifting of origin. Now originally the origin is at 0 comma 0 comma 0. Now this origin has shifted to 1 comma 1 comma 0. Okay, there is change in x coordinate and y coordinate system. Right? Now let us see what is this value. See, you know that the value of x is the horizontal displacement. Earlier it was 0 to minus 5. Now it is 1 to minus 5. So the new coordinate here would be minus 6. Similarly, the new coordinate along y would be also minus 6. So this point is minus 6 comma minus 6 comma 0. Let us not write 0 every time, because this is constant z plane. For every value of the point, for every value on the for every point on this plane, the value of z would be 0, right? So this is minus 6 comma 6. Let us write what is this point. This is minus 6 comma 4, because see, the vertical displacement has decreased, right? The horizontal displacement is still increased, but the vertical displacement has decreased, hence minus 6 comma 4. Now let us look here. Now now the horizontal displacement has decreased. The horizontal displacement is just 4. Just 4. To this, again the vertical displacement is again 6. So 4 comma minus 6 is this point. Now let us look at this point. Both the horizontal displacement and the vertical displacement has gone down. So it is 4 comma 4. See, the earlier values of the integration are minus 5 to 5 and minus 5 to 5 in x and y. But here it is minus 6 to 4 and minus 6 to 4. The value of x is from minus 6 to 4 and the value of y is from minus 6 to 4. Similarly, I think you know that x prime would be equals to x minus a, and y prime would be equals to y minus b if the origin is shifted to a comma b. Now let us come to our point of discussion, that if the sheet is a finite sheet, if the sheet is a finite sheet, then obviously the limits are changing. But assume that the sheet you have is an infinite sheet. Okay, let us look at what happens because of infinite sheet. Only thing I will be needing is the values of x prime and y prime. Nothing else out. For infinite sheet, sheets, the values of x and y are x is ranging from minus infinity to infinity, y is ranging from minus infinity to infinity. Now, what will be the range of x prime? X prime would be ranging from minus infinity minus a to infinity minus a. Similarly, y prime would be varying from minus infinity minus b to infinity minus b. What are the limits? They are still minus. That is, the shift of origin, however big the value of a may be, has no consequence on the limits of x and y. No, what I'm intending to tell you is that, now let us go back to the cylindrical coordinate system. If we have a cylindrical coordinate system, anywhere you draw, any normal you draw, for any normal, you can find a circle whose radius are varying from 0 to infinite. Around any normal you can draw. Because of this, along any point on this normal, the electric field intensity would be acting only along the direction of Az cap. So, see what I'm telling you here. Any normal, the electric field intensity would be acting only along Az cap, and along any point on the normal, the electric field intensity would be acting only along Az cap. That means at any point on space, the electric field intensity would be acting only along. That is a key observation I can make about the electric field intensity because of infinite sheet of charge. This is a qualitative discussion. We have not done it quantitatively. Let us determine the expression mathematically too. So let us, I think I have already given you the range of variables. The range of variables are rho varies from 0 to infinity, pi varies from 0 to 2 pi, h does not vary because h is equals to constant. So ds, the differential surface element, is rho, d rho and d pi. Because I am integrating a scalar quantity, I have that is dq. I have just considered a scalar differential element instead of a vector differential element. I hope you understand that. Now let us try and understand the expression of the electric field intensity mathematically, or let us do the quantitative analysis. Now I have already told you that the electric field intensity can be obtained by using superposition theorem, right? By integrating the small differential electric field intensity. These two, when integrated alone, should give you the electric field intensity. But we have seen earlier that when these two were acting together, then the electric field intensity is acting only along the direction of Az cap. That is, we have already determined the expression for dE1 plus dE2. Now let us try to use this expression. But if we differentiate this, if you integrate this expression, then instead of electric field intensity, you would be getting twice the electric field of intensity. We have seen this sum in the earlier slides, right? You may remember that this is the expression we have obtained for dE1 plus dE2. In this slide, I have also introduced you the limits from rho and pi. Now, in this expression, if I take the independent terms aside, this is independent, right? This is independent of both rho and pi. These are independent. This h is independent. AH cap is constant over entire space, so I can take it out. This row is not independent, D row is not independent. Let us not integrate them for the moment. Let us integrate D phi. So if I integrate D phi, the answer will be phi, and my limits are from 0 to 2 pi. So if I substitute the limits, I'd be getting the value of 2 pi. So this is where it reduces to. Now again, I can cancel this 2 pi, I can cancel this 2 pi, I can cancel this 2 pi. Right? So what I have is that 2e, this is 2e equals to rho s by epsilon naught integral of over the limits, integration over the limits rho from 0 to pi, 0 to infinity, h a h cap. This a again, please understand that these are constant, right? This has nothing to do with integration, right? These are constant all over the place. Rho square plus h square to the power of 3 by 2 rho d rho. Now I can write the expression for electric field intensity is rho s by 2 epsilon naught. Understand that this 2 has come here, right? Rho s by 2 epsilon naught integral over the limits of rho from 0 to infinity h a h cap by rho square plus h square to the power of 3 by 2 rho d rho. Now I would use a simple substitution that the range of for simplification I would substitute that rho square plus h square equals to t. Now if rho square plus h square equals to t, then 2 rho d rho should be equals to dt, or rho d rho would be equals to 1 by 2 dt. And this rho square plus h square to the power of 3 by 2 would be equals to t to the power of 3 by 2. And when rho equals 0, the limits would be h square equals to t, right? So rho square plus h square equals to t. When rho equals to 0, t equals to h square. And when rho equals to infinite, t equals to infinite, right? So these are the limits. Let me write it somewhere, right? Let me write it somewhere else, because I'll be needing them. So the limits of the integral are now the limits are from h square to infinite for the variable t, and the function which is being integrated is t to the power of minus 3 by 2, right? Because it is t in the denominator, so when it goes up, it is t to the power of minus 3 by 2. Rho d rho is 1 by 2 dt over the limits h square to infinity. Right? Now you may know that integral of x to the power of n is x to the power of n plus 1 by n plus 1. Now, applying this, if I integrate this term, I will be getting t to the power of minus 1 by 2 by minus 1 by 2. This minus 1 by 2 would be cancelling out this 1 by 2. So the coefficients would be cancelling out each other. So the integral result I got is just 1 by root t. Right? Of course, there is some minus sign also. Let us see how this dissolves. See, this is what I got. Rho s by h 2 epsilon naught. I have been telling you that h is constant, ah cap is constant. This has nothing to do with integration. This is the integration result. This is the integration of the function. These are the limits, right? Now when I apply them over a negative sign, 1 by infinite minus 1 by h square to the power of 1 by 2 this would be equals to h simply. This would be equals to 0. Negative of negative would be positive. So this h would be cancelling out this. The answer would be rho s by 2 epsilon. This is the expression for electric field intensity at any point. Let me remind you, at any point in the space. That means the electric field intensity because of an infinite sheet charge at any point on space is a constant value given by rho s by 2 epsilon naught. It is not dependent on anything except for the surface charge. And it is acting only along the normal to the surface. Right? This is only module, the only topic we'll be covering in this module. This is just a mathematical module. We discussed nothing conceptual in this module. The only conceptual discussion we had in this module is about the symmetry inside a cylindrical coordinate system and how an infinite sheet charge, any point, any normal drawn at any point to the surface can be considered as z-axis. Right? This is the assignment to you. Please do this and submit it along with the justification. I also given you the justification of coordinate system. Why did I use cylindrical coordinate system over? I hope that the things are clear. If you have any queries, please ask in the comment section.